You aren't actually living your life. You are merely refusing to die. Every morning you wake up already behind, reacting to a world that demands everything and gives back nothing. Your heart rate is up, your focus is shattered, and you're trapped in a biological feedback loop that Carl Jung warned would eventually consume your soul. Most people think survival mode is a temporary phase of high stress. Jung knew it was a psychological tomb, a state where your persona takes over so completely that your true self begins to wither away into nothingness. But here is the terrifying truth. The very mechanisms your brain is using to keep you safe right now are the exact same ones preventing you from ever becoming who you were meant to be. If you feel like you're drowning while standing on dry land, it's because your shadow is starving for the life you're too exhausted to lead. To break this cycle, we have to go to the one place your survival instinct is terrified to look. If you don't understand the Jungian architecture of your own burnout, you aren't just tired, you are disappearing. Here is how you reclaim the life you've been too busy surviving to actually lead. To understand why you feel so hollow, we have to look at the architecture of the modern cage. In the wild, survival mode is a sprint, a burst of adrenaline to outrun a predator. But in the 21st century, the predator never leaves the room. The predator is your inbox, your mortgage, and the crushing expectation to be productive in a world that is increasingly meaningless. Carl Jung observed that when the external world becomes too demanding, we develop what he called the persona. This is the mask you wear to function in society. It's the professional you, the polite you, the version of yourself that smiles when it's tired and says, "I'm fine," when it's drowning. In a healthy life, the persona is like a coat. You put it on when you go outside and take it off when you come home. But when you fall into survival mode, you stop taking the coat off. It becomes your skin. You begin to identify so closely with your functions, your job, your roles, your responsibilities, that you lose contact with the self, the core of who you actually are. This is why you can achieve everything on your to-do list and still feel like an imposter in your own skin. You aren't living, you are performing the role of a person who is living. Biologically, this state keeps your nervous system trapped in a sympathetic fight or flight loop. Your brain is literally bathing your neurons in cortisol, which shuts down the prefrontal cortex, the part of you responsible for creativity, empathy, and long-term vision. You become a reactive machine. You lose the ability to wonder, to play, or to feel a sense of awe. Your world shrinks down to the immediate next task. And here is where the Jungian tragedy deepens. Everything you have suppressed to keep this survival persona going, your true passions, your anger, your wildness, your eccentricities, doesn't just vanish, it retreats into the shadow. The more you survive by being what others need you to be, the more powerful and starved your shadow becomes. This internal tension is the real source of your exhaustion. You aren't tired because you're doing too much. You're tired because you're resisting who you actually are. Most people think the way out of this is self-care, a bubble bath, a vacation, or a new productivity app. They think if they can just optimize their survival, they will finally have the space to live. But here is the pattern-shattering truth. Your survival mode isn't a failure of your willpower. It is a masterpiece of your ego. Your brain is not trying to make you happy. It is trying to keep you safe. And to your ego, the most dangerous thing in the world isn't stress, burnout, or even a heart attack. It's the unpredictable, unmaskable reality of your true self. You aren't stuck because you're failing. You're stuck because you are succeeding at a version of life that was never meant for you. So how do you stop the hemorrhage? You've been told to think positive, but you can't think your way out of a physiological prison. Your brain is running a survival script written by an ancestor who was terrified of predators, except now the predator is a Slack notification. The first realization is this: your burnout isn't a lack of energy, it's a lack of alignment. You are spending 90% of your psychic fuel just keeping your mask from slipping. Imagine the power you'd have if you stopped hiding. But here is the problem. The moment you stop performing, the silence becomes deafening. And in that silence, your shadow starts to speak. Jung called this the confrontation. Most people mistake this for a nervous breakdown. It's not. It's a breakthrough. Your ego has built a massive wall to keep the dangerous parts of you out. Your raw ambition, your legitimate anger, your thirst for something more than a spreadsheet. To the ego, these feel like threats to your stability. To the self, they are the oxygen you've been denied for a decade. If you want to stop surviving, you have to stop trying to be good and start trying to be whole. But wholeness requires a price that most are too terrified to pay. You have to kill the version of yourself that everyone else likes. This is the death of the persona. It feels like a tragedy because you've spent years perfecting this character. You've become the reliable one, the quiet one, the one who never makes a scene. But that character is the one drowning. To save the person, you must burn the costume. When you stop obsessing over how the world sees you, your nervous system finally gets the signal that the predator has left the room. For the first time in years, the cortisol drops. The fog lifts. But don't get comfortable. Because once the fog clears, you're finally going to see the monster you've been running from, and it's wearing your face. This is the core of shadow work. It's not about fixing your flaws. It's about reclaiming your stolen fire. That unprofessional anger you suppress, that's actually the boundary-setting energy you need to say no to the people draining your life. That selfish desire for more, that's the engine of your individuation. You aren't tired because you're doing too much. You're tired because you're suppressing the very parts of you that provide the juice to live. The path out of survival mode isn't a vacation. It's a controlled demolition of your false identity. But there is a catch. Your nervous system is addicted to the stress. It's comfortable in the chaos because the chaos is predictable. To break the cycle, you have to do the one thing your survival instinct hates most. You have to embrace the uncertainty of your own potential. You have to move from being a reactive machine to becoming an active creator. This isn't a metaphor. It's a biological shift. You are literally rewiring your brain to prioritize growth over safety. But how do you actually start the fire without losing everything you've built? The answer lies in the one place you've been taught to ignore. The place you've been taught to ignore, the place where the fire actually starts, is your own internal authority. For years, you have outsourced your identity to your inbox, your social circle, and the crushing expectations of a world that values your utility over your humanity. To stop surviving, you must commit the ultimate act of psychological rebellion. You must trust yourself more than you trust your mask. This is what Jung called individuation. It is the process of integrating the fractured pieces of your soul, the light and the dark, the professional and the wild, into one coherent, unstoppable whole. You've been terrified that if you let the persona die, you would lose everything. But the truth is, you only lose the things that were already killing you. When you stop obsessing over being good and start focusing on being whole, the architecture of your burnout begins to crumble. You realize that the energy you were using to suppress your shadow is the exact same energy you need to build a life worth living. Your shadow isn't a demon to be exorcised. It is the reservoir of your untapped power. That unprofessional anger is actually the backbone you need to set boundaries. That irrational creativity is the compass you need to navigate a world that has lost its way. When you integrate these parts, you aren't just coping with stress anymore. You are transforming it. You move from the sympathetic nervous system's fight-or-flight loop into a state of creative flow. Your brain stops bathing in cortisol and begins to engage the prefrontal cortex, not to solve someone else's problems, but to manifest your own purpose. This is how you reclaim the life you've been too busy surviving to lead. You don't find time, you claim it. You don't wait for permission, you grant it to yourself. You realize that the safe path was actually the most dangerous place you could ever stay, because it was the only place where the self was guaranteed to disappear. The weight you've been carrying isn't the burden of your life, it's the weight of the costume you've been forced to wear. When you drop the mask, you don't fall apart, you finally stand up. You are no longer a reactive machine waiting for the next crisis. You are an active creator, shaping the world through the lens of your own truth. The survival mode ends the moment you decide that your existence is not a problem to be solved, but a mystery to be lived. You are not just a cog in the machine, you are the architect of your own soul. The predator hasn't just left the room, you've realized that you were always the one holding the key to the door. Now, walk through it. Walking through that door isn't the end of the journey. It is the beginning of a lifelong psychological insurgency. The world will not make this easy for you. Tomorrow morning, the machine will demand its cog back. It will scream for the professional you, the polite you, the mask you finally had the courage to drop. To remain whole in a society that profits from your fragmentation, you need more than a single moment of clarity. You need a continuous blueprint for the architecture of your soul. This is exactly why we are here. We don't offer self-care bandages or shallow productivity hacks. We provide the intellectual tools for the controlled demolition of everything that isn't you. If you are ready to stop performing and start becoming, if you are committed to the brutal, beautiful process of individuation, then you belong in this community. If this message awakened the fire your survival mode tried to extinguish, hit the like button to signal your rebellion. Subscribe to ensure you never lose access to this blueprint. And right now, I want you to solidify this psychological shift by making a public vow to your true self. Go down to the comments and write, "I drop the mask today." Stay in the fire. Keep the mask off. We have much more to dismantle together.